Dr. Alex Mao.
Thank you, Michelle, for your introduction. And hello, everyone. I'm very happy to be here to be part of this first ever Vision Quest in London and Southwestern Ontario. And I'm very excited to see, Vision Quest coming to London to try to establish a community for visually impaired in our region. In the next 45 minutes or so, I'm gonna, briefly talk about the strategies we use clinically, try to maximize the vision you have, and also some new technologies which may potentially change the paradigm of the management of retinal diseases and low vision rehabilitation service. So I have been running the low vision clinic at the Ivy Eye Institute for about 7 years. Based upon my experience, I think when we provide low vision rehabilitation, we mainly manipulate the 3 variables of our visual functions. We all know, when you go see your eye doctor, they will check your visual acuity. Actually, that's only one of the 5 components of our functional vision. Visual acuity is important, but 4 other things are also very important, but they are not commonly measured. So the first one we usually manipulate is called the contrast sensitivity. So we try to enhance the contrast sensitivity. When you think about all the retinal diseases like macular degeneration, diabetes, retinitis pigmentosa, glaucoma, they all compromise your contrast sensitivity significantly. And some patients come to see me in my clinic, they ask me, doctor, why I see your chart very well, but when I get home, my vision seems not as good. The reason is, when you look at the eye chart in the clinic, it is a very high contrast black and white eye chart. When you get home, you look at the picture on the wall, it is a beige color on the gray background. The contrast is much, much worse. That's why you couldn't see those objects as easy and as good. So we have to address this issue by enhancing your contrast sensitivity to help you see things better and easier. Okay. Now, the second strategy we use is if we cannot make things sharper, we have to make it bigger. So I always use the analogy of a good camera with a bad roll of film. The picture going to be blurry. You cannot make it clear. You cannot make it any crisper. Then what? Then you have to make the picture bigger to be able to see the image. So the magnification is the key strategy we use to help you see better. I'm going to go into more details later. Now, the third one is we have to train patients how to use your vision effectively. The last one is the emotional support, which is not the least, but I mentioned this as the last strategy we used, but definitely not the least important one. So I'd like to share with you a true story occurred to me in my clinic. A 45-year-old gentleman referred to my clinic from a retinal specialist, and he was diagnosed with retinitis pigmentosa. So, I observed the way he walked into my clinic. He walked slowly, and he picked up his feet more, higher than normal, lower than normal. So I can roughly tell, the extent of the vision loss and the visual field loss. So he sat in the chair, and the first thing he asked me to do is, doctor, can you do the vision assessment without testing my vision? So, I was surprised. Nobody asked me this before, so I can tell he was not confident enough, or he doesn't want to know how bad his vision was. So I said, yeah, sure. So we carried out, and we did a low vision exam for him. At the end, we significantly improved his functional vision by enhancing his contrast and expand his field of view. So he was thrilled at the end. And at the end, he asked me, doctor, can you check my vision now? So he wanted to get his vision checked. So it was a case really, got me think the emotional stage of your patient, because we all know there are 5 stages of the process for the loss and the grief. So he was in the denying stage. So he won't deny his vision was compromised by retinitis pigmentosa. We all know the RP is a long, gradual decline of your vision. They can adapt well, but once you at that critical threshold, your vision can be significantly changed overnight. So he was just trying to deny what happened to him, and he doesn't want to accept that. And he said he saw many other doctors. The exam was turned out very short because he doesn't want to get his vision checked. So the take-home message is, I think the emotional support is very, very important for all the people with the vision loss. So, all right. So let's talk about the 4 key strategies we use clinically. The first one, as I said, is the contrast sensitivity. The goal is try to make things sharper and clear. When you see your eye doctor for a regular eye exam, they will do a refraction. They try to update your glasses prescription. Once your vision, decline to a certain level, they will say, John, I really cannot do anything for you because the refraction just cannot. I cannot give you a copy of the prescription to help you see any better. So that's come to the point we need to do a low vision refraction. So we use some different technique, try to help you to figure out what is the best possible prescription for you. A lot of patients come to see us. We ask them, when did you update your glasses last time? They said probably 8 years ago, because my doctor told me my glasses is not need to be changed because they couldn't make any changes to improve my vision. To a certain degree, that's correct. But sometimes if we do a low vision refraction, we still can improve your best corrected vision significantly. And after that, and then we'll address the contrast sensitivity loss by using a lens. I don't know anybody in the room heard about this. It's called a Corning lens. And this is called absorptive filter lens, developed in New York. This lens has a patent on it. They can cut down the glare, enhance the contrast, so to help you see things sharper and crisper. Very often, the patient come in, we ask them, do you wear any sunglasses? They will take out a pair, either a gray or dark gray or polarized or not. And I usually ask the patient, okay, put these glasses on and look at me and compare with no contact, no sunglasses. Tell me which way you see me better. Most of the time they will say, I see you better without these sunglasses. The reason they want to wear these dark sunglasses because they are sensitive to the bright light. So they have to address the glare issue, but once they put on these dark polarized gray sunglasses, they make everything dimmer, but they also make everything harder to see. So what these Corning lenses can do, they can cut down the glare by blocking the blue end or short wavelength of the light, but also they don't have to cut the light, so you still see as bright as normally, but they will cut down the glare for you. So this has been a game changer. We use this for people with end-stage glaucoma. There's a special Corning lens actually called RP lens. It's at a spectrum of about 550. It's like a red-orange type of color. It significantly helps you to see better in the low light situation and also help you to see better in the bright light situations. And these lenses also have a transition. So the transition character performance. So if you stay inside, if you are indoors, the lens is lighter, the color is lighter. If you go outside, the lens will automatically darken. So with the transition performance, so I think this lens has been doing very well to improve patients' contrast sensitivity. And with today's technology, with iPad, all the tablet, the e-reader is another huge help for people with the vision loss. So you can, for all the tablet, you can enhance the contrast, and you can make things brighter. You can zoom in, make things bigger. So that will help you to see things much easier as well. Not everything, all the material you can read on the iPad. So if you want to read a receipt, you want to read your financial statement, you still need a kind of a magnifier help you to see better. A lot of people, again, come to my office with a bag of magnifier. They say, "Doctor, can you help me? Because I have 5 magnifiers, but none of them can help me to read any better." A lot of times it's come down to the contrast, because all the magnifiers they got from the drugstores, they can make things bigger, but they don't enhance the contrast. Either the lens quality is not very good, or the aperture of the lens is too small, or the way they use magnifier is not correct. So again, with the technology today, there are quite a few electronic magnifiers you can use, and they all go with the different brand names. The one I like in particular is called the Smart Lux. It's developed by Eschenbach. So this handheld magnifier with a 5-inch screen, very lightweight. I think that's probably in the portable magnifier class, this is probably the largest screen size. We all know we want to have a larger screen, can see multiple words at once, not just one word at a time. And also this magnifier can enhance the contrast by changing the polarity to make it either white on black or black on white. As we know, the end-stage glaucoma and RP patients, they are very, very glare sensitive. So they usually like to change the polarity to white on black, so the screen does not have too much light, so they feel more comfortable with that. So this magnifier has been a very, very good addition and to help people to read better by enhancing the contrast. And recently, a number of companies developed a new technology. It's called a blue cutting coating. So some people don't like the orange color from the cornea lenses. They say, I just cosmetic, I don't want people to see me differently. So there's a coating called the Prevencia from Essilor company. So this coating can block the blue light without changing the color of your lens. So your glasses will look the same as regular glasses, but this coating can block the blue light, and then that will enhance the contrast sensitivity, so you can see better than your regular glasses. So this is the new development. I think it's very beneficial. The other way we can enhance the contrast is by changing the light bulb in your home. And so what is the best light bulb we can use? I know these days it's become more and more popular. People get those efficient, like energy-saving fluorescent light. They are saving energies, but they actually not very good for your eyes. The kind of like even the soft white efficient saving light bulbs, they still have a lot of blue end of the spectrum. So that will make the light more easier to get scattered, so make things, the contrast is not very good. Usually I recommend patients either get a halogen or incandescent light. So they are more, they have a less blue end and more orange, a red end of the light spectrum, so the light is softer and also can enhance the contrast of whatever you see at home. Okay, so the light source can help you to see things better as well. So the second strategy, so the first one we talked about is try to make things sharper by enhancing the contrast. The next one is if we cannot make things sharper, we make it bigger. As we discussed, magnification, we all know we can make things bigger to see things easier. For the magnification, there are 3 categories. Do you want to magnify at near, or you want to magnify at intermediate distance, or you want to magnify at a far distance? So for near, basically, we want to read the newspaper, better with the magnifier. We can use the conventional handheld magnifier, or we use a new technology, the electronic magnifier, or we can use iPad or iPod to see the newspaper electronically. The reason people come in with a bag of magnifier, they couldn't read with them, because, again, the light source, some low-quality handheld magnifiers, they use a very, use the light source with a lot of blue, with the blue hue of the light. So we can easily get a yellow filter and apply onto those light bulbs, and then automatically they can see things much easier with the magnifier. Here I want to use a retinitis pigmentosa example to see, for the magnification you can wear a strong magnifier like a reading glasses, or you can use a handheld magnifier, and which one is better? So for certain eye disease, it's much better to use a handheld magnifier versus the microscope or strong reading glasses you wear. The reason is the field of view for people with the RP, it's like an ice cream cone. So the tip of the cone is at your glasses plane, and the base of the cone is at distance. If you wear the glasses, then the field of view is very, very small. So that's why the people with RP say, doctor, can you give me even a pair with a stronger power? I said, I can, but it just won't help you at all because your field of view is so small. It's not practical to read things with your magnifier. It's much better for you to hold a magnifier away from your eyes, and then you get a much larger field of view. The other reason we usually don't, because we got asked a lot of times, the patient come in and say, doctor, can you give me a stronger pair of glasses so I can read a smaller print? And theoretically, yes. If we give you a twice as strong the reading glasses, and you can read half of the print size you can read normally. So we can give you a much stronger reading glasses, but practically, when we make the reading glasses stronger, you have to hold things closer, okay? If we make the reading glasses very strong, you have to almost hold the newspaper against your nose to read the print clearly. But which we all know, nobody wants to hold the newspaper against our nose to read, which is not natural, which is not convenient. So a lot of times we send patients home with a pair of very strong reading glasses. They got home, and the next day they called us, say, doctor, the one you prescribed didn't work. So they came back, we said, okay, show me how do you read the newspaper at home. So they tend to pull the paper away from their eyes to read. So that's where, we can make things stronger to help you see smaller things, but practically, people don't know how to use the devices effectively, and they cannot really get helped. So that's why clinically we usually don't prescribe the reading glasses more than 10 diopters, because it is not practical to use to hold the paper very close to your face. So that's the very reason we don't prescribe the reading glasses that over 10 diopters. So that is the magnification for near distance. Now for the computer, we can use some Galilean telemicroscope devices, can give you a nice working distance. Because for the computer, again, it's kind of at your arm length. The strong reading glasses won't help because the screen going to be too close to you. So we're going to use it's called a Galilean telemicroscope. So that can increase the working distance, but also make the target bigger, so that can be used for computer range. And the next one, next is for the long distance, like watching TV, seeing the bird on the tree in your backyard, or go to the church, you want to see the people's face on the stage. All that category, we have to use a telescope, either handheld or head-borne telescope, to help you see things easier and better at distance. As we all know, when you hold a binocular, to see things, the ocular lens is fairly small. The aperture is fairly small. For people with macular degeneration, their central vision is compromised. If you look straight ahead, you don't see anything. You have to turn your head sideways to see. So it's called eccentric viewing. If the aperture of the ocular lens is very, very tiny, they cannot use so the device won't be very helpful. So there's a new telescope developed. It's called a Pulitzer telescope. So what they developed this telescope to maximize the size of the exit pupil, which means they make the ocular lens the same size of your objective lens. So the ocular lens become very, very large, so you can turn your head and to see through the aperture to see your target. So that will reduce your eye strain tremendously. So this telescope has been doing so well in our clinic. It's become a very, very practical and very user-friendly because the ocular lens is so large and you can see things very easily. I don't know if anybody saw the eyewear this morning. It's called the Eyesight Intelligent Eyewear. So this is the newest head-borne computerized eyewear in the industry. So this the company based in Ottawa. So they just got this eyewear developed and ready to be used to be dispensed commercially. So this eyewear has two LED screens right inside your eyeglasses. So they have an automatic focusing camera built in. So when you if you try to cross the street, you look at the traffic light, and you can see distance. You don't have to turn the focusing knob. So automatic focus for distance, and you can flip the computer screen up, so you can see through your regular glasses, and you can pass the street, pass the interaction. And if you sit at a meeting room, you want to read the handouts, you look at the overhead, the camera automatically focus far and near for you. And as I said, the LED screen is a high definition, is right in front of your eye, and that kind of significantly changed the way you can function. Because most of the conventional low vision devices, one device is made for one distance. Okay, so you can see far, then you cannot see near. If you can see near, you cannot see far. So this eyewear kind of fundamentally changed that, so you can see distance and near almost simultaneously. So 95% of the time, as I said, we can make things bigger to help you see better. But occasionally, actually make it bigger, it actually makes you see worse. Why? Again, for example, the retinitis pigmentosa, usually their visual field of view, the visual field going to slowly getting smaller and smaller. When they get to about 20 degrees, their mobility will become more and more difficult. So before, if their field of view is larger than 20 degrees, magnification is still the best way to enhance their vision. If their visual field come down to 20 or 15 degrees, if we make things bigger, actually they will see worse. So then what we will do is called a minification. We go the opposite. So we kind of shrink the whole field of view, and we pull everything into that 15 degrees to help patient to see better. How to do that? Simply, we just reverse the telescope. Okay, so normally we see the telescope, we make things bigger. If we reverse, we'll make things smaller. So we pull everything into a smaller field of view. Clinically, we rarely prescribe the telescope more than 2.2 times. The reason is, by making things smaller, your visual acuity is also getting worse. For example, if a patient have a 20/50 vision with the field of view of 10 degrees, so we reverse that, we prescribe a telescope with a 2.2 times telescope, the field of view will be expanded from 10 degrees to 22 degrees. But the visual acuity going to drop from 20/50 to 2100. So we trade the expansion of the field of view for loss of visual acuity. So usually 2 times is the maximum we prescribe. If we see a patient, we check the visual field. If their field of view is less than 15 degrees, which is kind of the overall constriction, and we'll prescribe a reversed telescope to expand the field of view and for them to travel safely, because otherwise they're going to bump into the door frames and they don't see the surrounding very well. So by holding the reverse telescope, they can see a much wider field. It's safer for them to move around. But as I said, if we prescribe a stronger telescope, it's going to make their vision to too worse, and then they cannot it cannot defeat the purpose. The other new development in the field of view expansion area is called the Pally lens. This is the lens developed in Boston by Dr. Pally. And what this lens can do, they only put a prism on one side, which is a 40 prism diopter superior and inferior to your pupil, only on one side. So when you look straight ahead, you look through your normal glasses. But the two prism superior and inferior give you the awareness of what's around you. It expand your field of view for about 20 degrees. So think about the patient with only 10-degree visual field. So expand to 22 degrees, which is significant. The other benefit of this lens is you will never get double vision. Because for the Fresnel sectorial prism, if you look into the prism, actually you will see double. But that's just temporary. Then you move your eye away from the prism, you will see single. But this is a Pally lens because there is no prism right in your visual axis. The prisms are are both superiorly and inferiorly. So that will never give you the double vision, but also give you the expansion of the field of view for about 20 degrees. So this is an exciting and a new lens we prescribe to people either with a stroke. Usually this lens apply to people not with the overall constriction. It's with we call the Hemianopia. So just one side of field of view is compromised either by a tumor in your brain or by stroke. All right, so this is basically the clinical strategies we use and to enhance the functional vision for people with vision loss. And now I'm gonna open up the floor and we'll take questions. Thank you.
We've been taking our son to the low vision clinic in Waterloo for over 20 years now. Mm-hmm. Wasn't aware that we had a low vision clinic in the London area, mm-hmm. London per se. So how do we get a referral to a different low vision clinic?
You can ask your current eye doctor to write a referral to us. If he doesn't see anybody for check his eyes, and then we take a self-referral. You just call my office, and we can book appointment for him. Yep, you're welcome.
Yes, my name's Larry Cook.
Yep.
And about 10 years ago, I went to the low vision clinic in Waterloo. Mm-hmm. He took me into a room, and he basically told me that none of the stuff he had would do any good for me. Mm-hmm. He took a picture of my eyes and showed my wife them. Now everything except for the last thing you described to me sounds like I could use. I do have, since then I have got cataracts over my eyes, and with my disease or whatever, they won't get rid of my cataracts. Mm-hmm. But so I don't know if they'll be good now because of my cataracts, but if I got rid of my cataracts, I think some of these things would be useful to me.
What is the level of vision you have? Do you know? Counting fingers?
Yeah, just counting fingers, about 6 inches or so from his eye.
It's a RP. What's the diagnosis of your?
He's got a combination of both his parents, so there isn't really a name that we have to his disease.
So when were you told the cataract won't help you? It's recently or 10 years ago?
It was about 10 years ago. When he took a picture of my eyes, we have 8 black rings around it.
Right.
They're nice and they're wiggly little worms because my eyes shake.
Yeah.
A lot.
Yeah, probably I think you need to visit your doctor again. So 10 years, a lot of things has happened.
Yeah.
To get a more updated diagnosis, and then we go from there. We'll see either low vision rehabilitation or surgical intervention to remove the cataracts. A lot of new advancement for retinal disease treatment, like Lucentis injections, steroid injection. There are a lot of new developments. So I think probably see your eye doctor again and to get reassessed.
I was wondering, when you're talking about these different lenses, are they made by a special company? I heard you mention Essilor.
Right.
Are they the ones that...
Essilor is one of three I know of. I know Nikon has it's called Ice Blue. That's the name, the brand name for the coating. Hoya has one called Recharge. Essilor's is called Prevencia. So all three.
My daughter works for Essilor, and I think she's out of Waterloo, and she goes to Toronto. Mm-hmm. And it's Essilor that you mentioned, and I thought if they were the ones that were making these lenses.
Yep. Yeah, you go to any eye care professionals, if they carry Essilor product, they should have access to this special coating.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. By the way, I want to have a pair for myself too.
I had the Corting glass about good 20, 25 years ago, and I really liked them. Now, are you saying that's available in a transition?
Yep. The cornea is transition. Did you notice the color is slightly different when you go outside?
I don't remember. That was a long time ago.
Okay. Do you still have your cornea lens?
No.
No. Okay. The cornea is a transitional lens, but because it's a made of glass, it's very heavy. Mm-hmm. We are using another company. They do the same. They matched all the performance of cornea lenses, but in the plastic lens, so much lighter, but still transitional. It's working great.
And do you have to go to a certain optician?
Yes. For the cornea lens, it's not like the blue blocking coating. Mm-hmm. So the cornea lenses, you have to get through a special clinic. Not many eye doctors' office carry this product. Mm-hmm. Great. Thank you.